usually teach these to people. People don't understand. You want to be on the video?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you're.
I'm recording it so that I can post it to my patients. So what it is the biofilm is a gooey layer. Okay. So like you have you seen like anytime you have ulcer, like it look like shiny and then it look like a film? Like that's a way openly you can see. But that's what happens everywhere in the body. Biofilm is like a gooey layer, and inside there are groups of organisms. Okay, the way the vaccine works, and if you understand this whole concept, I'm going to talk to you as though I'm talking to my kids, telling stories. So you don't need to understand in a scientific way. Think of it like I'm telling you a story that's going to be like something that you get. So when these gooey layers form a group, what happens when you do the vaccine? The virus, right? The virus is like if you understand, you incarcerate somebody. Okay, so virus goes in as an incarcerated person. It is putting him into jail cell. And the first place it targets to house is wherever you have fillings, minerals in your body. And the minerals can come from environment, fluorides, chlorides, fluorides, toothpaste, okay, bromides from bread, because the brilliant lawyers went and told the bread company, hey guys, don't fortify your bread with iodine because people are going to sue you because 99% of American and internationally are iodine deficient. So instead fill it with bromide so we never get sued. Okay, so that even a little bit health issue was taken away from us because they wanted to avoid lawsuits. Okay, the lawyers. So the bromide come in with bread. Chloride, you go any water, right? It's contaminated. So what did the government do? Put more chloride. So we'll kill them, right? So chlorides, see, our body doesn't have a filter, right? Like so it goes in and chlorides doesn't get out. It gets stuck in these cells, right? So chlorides, fluorides, bromides. And then brilliant chip company comes with nitrites, right? So you have nitrites. And then every medicine to bind it, they will do magnesium stearate, a binder, silicon, a binder. So all these gunks, calcium, it's a binder. So all the filters, all these minerals are in our body. And the body, if they cannot get rid of it, will store it like calcification. You'll see like bumps suddenly appearing. These are like buffers. The body is like rotating it with like it's inborn porous calcium from the bones, and it will put it as buffer. That's why it feels a little gritty. You can see that. So the virus targets that as its incarceration place. It's on a cell. Think of it that way, okay? So it's sitting in a cell. And the immunity is dependent on iodine. When iodine is deficient, the thyroid will use fake minerals. So all these fluorides, bromides, chlorides will pretend to be thyroid equivalent, and they'll go make friendship with thyroid hormones, and they activate the immune system. And they say, right. Okay, so if you want to go.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. But I'll explain it later. And I'll put it on the video.
It's really interesting because.
No, but like what I'll do is continue this talk. So I'll quickly wrap up. So when the immunity comes down, virus will do a jailbreak. Okay, so they are out. And because it's hiding from immunity, the immunity doesn't even know this guy exists. Mm-hmm. So when it comes out, that's when you get that flu-like symptoms because it's overwhelming your immunity. And immunity says, oh my God, I didn't even know I was housing this guy. And so virus works like this, okay? Then the bacteria that is virulent, right? Like antibacterial, we keep doing it. It makes friendship with fungus. And the fungus teaches it, hey, I know how to beat these guys. So they go into this biofilm and they group. They are like, this terrorists inside us. And so when fungus learns something, it teaches bacteria, and bacteria learns something, it teaches fungus. So in addition, when the virus does the jailbreak, they have a party. So when they have a party, you get fever.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to beat the system is to keep your immunity up. Keep your immunity up. Iodine to replace, it comes from seaweed. Okay, so it's any seaweed salad if you do, or like, iodine rich food. It's very tough to find because it's animal source, like it's fish, cod liver, and all that stuff. So when you eat iodine, it takes 1 year to even get to the normal level. 1 year. Do you think anybody addresses this? No, nobody wants to, because people don't even want to address it as an issue. In Japan, when they had the nuclear, like a tsunami, when they destroyed, Japanese people who eat a lot of tuna fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
They should be iodine replaced. Their government told their population eat 15.8 milligram per day to avoid radiation damage from the nuclear, like, leakage during tsunami. And the max we can get it in this country is, like, in the food, is 0.15 milligram for our government. That's the standard they set. And in Japan, they're doing 1,000 times more, 13.8 milligram. Okay, so the max here I could find legally is 12.5 milligram, and for that you need to pay $20 every month. So nobody is going to cover it. Nobody is going to address it. But that's the only way to boost your immunity. And I found when people were in agony, when I put them on iodine 12.5, 5 loading dose, within 20 minutes, their pain went away. 20 minutes. I had this guy who came, he was on my table. We had a massage table. He put his head down, lied down, and he sobbed. I told him why. He says, narcotic doesn't work for pain anymore. I have reached a place that it doesn't work anymore, and nobody can help me. I went to the ER. I have this backache. Nothing is helping me. And he said, I cannot do anything more. And he says, he just wanted to weep in my presence. He says, there is no hope for me. So I told him, take this iodine. And I also did another one called super phosphosine. Phosphosine breaks down this calcification so the blood flows. And he said his pain dropped from, like, very high level to 3 to 5, moderate, in half hour. Half hour. But people, do you think they're going to do anything about it? No.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to address, because this over the counter, it's not covered by pharmaceutical industry, it's their responsibility, and people want somebody else to be accountable so they can sue them if it doesn't work for them. So the whole system is run by insurance company who has no concept about medicine, and they dictate doctors who are not even trained how to treat pain to manage pain. And they tell them, because the doctors who manage pain manage it thinking there is no addiction issue. The people who are addiction manage addiction not understanding pain. So you're caught like in a foster home between two people who have very different concept of raising you. And judicial system punishes us, takes away, like the doctor in California. She was put in jail for 29 years for causing somebody to overdose when he had a choice of taking whatever he wanted, and nobody is paying attention to personal rights.
Uh,
And the interesting thing is, right, yesterday we had a discussion online where this group in California was teaching how people are on so much narcotic, it will kill an elephant. And I was thinking, isn't that a joke the government is playing? They put carfentanil, which kills the elephant, in the society as a payback.
mhm.
And we are losing people who are doing recreation. Like, I feel we are coming to another full circle. So if you understand health, health is different, addiction is different, pain is different. So you need to understand health, you are accountable for. What you put in your mouth, what you eat, you are accountable for. If you're going to eat chip, take iodine. I tell my son, he is a chip junkie. Okay, he can eat a whole bag of potato chips in one day. whole bag. So I told him, one of my rule is if you're going to eat chip, every night you take iodine. It's a mandate. So he takes it. And if in case if immunity fails, he needs to double up his dosage. That's how when he was having sickness last week, I told him you have to double up your iodine, and in 3 days it went away. It's gone. So I know how to make them well in spite of them destroying their body with community issues. But that's over the counter. I pay money for the iodine, and I cannot tell your insurance to pay. They will decline it because they have no responsibility to keep you healthy. Your immunity, if it is up, you don't need anything else. Never put vaccine in your body. I'm going to record this because the problem is if you don't have ability to do methylation, which is to make energy in the cell, you should never go near vaccine because it actually works against you. But how do you know whether you can methylate? You need to do a genetic test. Does anybody offer you genetic test before vaccination? I feel I have a problem. If your government is telling you to do vaccination, ask them to do genetic test first. The cheapest one you can get is 23andMe. And I feel do what your body is capable of handling. Don't do what the, the pharmaceutical industry put it for trillion people as one vaccine. Do you think everybody, trillions of us are the same?
Right.
So how can you make medicine for trillion when your body is so unique? They put people away with DNA testing saying there is 1 in 1,000,000 chance of you being committing a crime. How come for health they cannot figure it out? Why is judicial system working very smarter than health people?
Mm.
They are very interested in putting people away, but why are you not interested in keeping people healthy? That's my question. So that ends my session here. Thanks for staying.